Hello, friends. Do you have a moment so that we may discuss our Lord and Savior Minarchy? No, seriously, I'm just kidding. Hi, my name's Rick Robinson. I am the general manager of KLRNradio.com. We are probably the largest independent podcast network that you've never heard of. We have a little bit of everything, and by that, what I mean to tell you is we have news, pop culture, special events, conspiratainment, true crime, mental health shows, drama productions, and pretty much everything in between. So if you're looking for a new podcast home to grab a little bit of everything that you love all in one place, come check us out. You can find us on X under @KLRNradio. You can find us on our Rumble and our YouTube channels under the same names. You can also find us at KLRNradio.com and pretty much every podcast catcher known to man. So again, feel free to come check us out anytime you like at KLRNradio.
Are you ready to reach for the stars? Tune in to The Lost Wanderer, the #1 monthly podcast on good pods in astronomy. Join our host, Jeff, as he takes you on an interstellar adventure to explore the mysteries of space and the wonders of science. From rocket launches and distant galaxies to the latest discoveries in astronomy, each episode is a thrilling ride through the cosmos. Don't just gaze at the stars, come explore the universe with us. Follow The Lost Wanderer wherever you get your podcasts, and let's discover the stars together.
I earned my degree online at Arizona State University. I chose to get my degree at ASU because I knew that I'd get a quality education, they were recognized for excellence, and that I would be prepared for the workforce upon graduating. To be associated with ASU, both as a student and alum, it makes me extremely proud, and having experienced the program, I know now that I'm set up for success. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq, Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, $1,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
How are we doing? KLRN. It is Thursday night. It is your early introduction to the weekend. It is disasters in the making. How's everybody doing? This is Brad Slager getting ready to take you on a venture down our debris-strewn highways. Zip up the parka, pull on the rain boots, get ready for a torrent of bad film. But we're not riding alone here, because joining me in the co-pilot seat, as usual, every 2 weeks from ScreenRant.com is Paul Young. What is happening, Paul?
What's going on, my friend? Have you dodged any cows today?
I've been lucky enough. I got to be honest with you.
Not dodging any windswept cows.
Not in my neck of the woods, but in some parts of the country, yes, it has been difficult. So we're going to look for that. We're going to strap ourselves into the Dominator 5. That would be the Reed Timmons storm chasing tank of his.
I logged on today to watch Twisters, like just to watch it, because I still like the movie. I mean, it was a good enough movie back in the day that it spawned a fairly lengthy running theme park attraction at Universal Studios in Orlando.
Yes, I've attended that.
And all the wind would come. I liked it because that was back in the day of practical effects where you enjoyed what you were doing. They replaced it with the Jimmy Fallon ride. Yeah.
Wow. Really?
Okay. Yes. It's all right. I mean, it's fun, but it's not Twister. But unfortunately, most audiences have outgrown Twister. What was it? Is it 99, 98? I mean, it's a late 90s movie.
Yeah, it's some time ago, and in fact, the stars are such that they probably faded from the knowledge of the current movie-going generation. That would be Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton. But yeah, it was it was pretty damn significant summer film. Actually, it was very successful.
It's not a good film, right? I mean, it's a disaster.
The script is basically 30 pages and consists entirely of dialogue of go, run, over here, right, turn, get in here, hold it, stop. That's literally the entire movie.
I'm gonna leave my current fiance. I mean, the story is he's leaving his current fiance for his still married wife who chases storms because he just loves it so much. And eventually she just gives him up because she can't beat both her and the storm. Isn't that a line? Doesn't she have that as a line of the film?
I think, yeah, she said something like, I can't do this, Bill. I can't do this. And really what they're setting up is that the other woman is a tornado. And technically Helen Hunt, yes, but it's that whole thing. Because let me tell you something, Paul, when you're storm chasing, it gets in your blood and it never leaves.
I think that the film itself has, the acting in it there's not much for them to do. They could have put any names in this because all they do is look up. They're peering up from just up at the Twister the whole time. They're just always looking up.
Yeah. There's there's driving, a lot of driving, but I guess that's points for realism. How about that? Anyway, the whole reason Paul and I are even bringing up all of this weather-related nonsense is because this weekend, coming out in theaters, is something Paul and I always like to do on this show, is bounce our poor cinematic selection on a much, at least grander scale or better quality film in theaters. The sequel to Twister is coming out probably technically this night, actually. And cleverly, it's called Twisters.
Yeah, like Aliens. Then there'll be
Plural.
Twister 3.
So I dare suggest, now I haven't seen the movie yet myself, but I'm going to go on a limb here and say there might be more than one tornado based on the title. Otherwise,
What do they call them? Twins or sisters?
Sisters.
Twisters, sisters.
How about that? Alliteration and rhyming at once. You gotta love it. Meteorological alliteration is always the key. So, on that front, see what I did there?
Wow.
Yeah, Paul and I decided to look for a weather-related disaster film. Not necessarily on screen, but the movie itself being one. And we, through happenstance and serendipity and other kind of outdoorsy terms like that, we fell upon one dubbed Supercell. And this one is like right in my wheelhouse because it's got a decent enough budget, decent enough effort put into it, choked with stars, and the movie went absolutely nowhere.
I suggested Tornado, which came out around the same time as Twisters, or Twister '96 with Bruce Campbell and Ernie Hudson. That was my suggestion. It was a pile of garbage compared to the thing that you've suggested with Supercell. That thing.
That says a lot.
This movie, it came out this year.
Did it now? Well, here's the thing with Supercell. You can't really technically call it a ripoff of Twister, and yet, man, there's just so many echoes to it, are there not? That it just
it's pretty terrible, and unfortunately, it stars the late Anne Heche, and I think this has to have been her last film before she passed.
It might very well have been. See, that's the whole. There's this nebulous little thing in Hollywood because of the pandemic. There's so many movies that were in production and gotten delayed for years on end until theaters reopened and such. So we're not really entirely clear when things were fully shot, when some productions started, stopped, started back up. So
the ironic part is her co-star Alec Baldwin didn't kill her.
Ooh,
is that too soon?
No, never is. Not when it's Baldwin. He always kind of has it coming. In fact, he's just been in the news. They just exonerated him of sorts from his gun-related lawsuit for the movie that he was shooting called Rust, in which there were deaths on the set as a result of recklessness. So, gunplay,
manslaughter.
Yeah, it honestly, with all the stories that came off of that set, he got damn lucky because these people did everything incorrectly when it came to handling weapons on a movie set.
I have a friend in the industry, and that's what he does. He's a prop guy. He worked for a prop house, and we talked after the incident with Baldwin on the set of Rust, and he was telling me that the lady that they hired to do that she was only like 23 or something, and had only been doing it for like a couple of months, maybe just a little bit longer than that, and nobody else would hire her to doing that kind of work because she was so unsafe with it.
And she probably got. I think that's why she got hired too, because this is such a low budget production that they got somebody on the cheap, literally.
Right. He said she was dangerous. So I mean, clearly now we see why.
Yeah, and they were firing the prop weapons. They were actually like doing target practice and stuff between takes. They were horsing around on set with them at times, and yeah, they were basically asking for trouble.
Yeah, it's
for
a bad
Baldwin
situation.
to get off the hook, he got lucky. I'm just going to say it. But yeah, he's toiling here. This is a movie by a very small studio. It's not quite a production house. It's an actual studio called Saban Films. But this is really one of those movies made for the international market.
It has to be, because it's not made for anybody in America.
No, it got a very, very nominal release date. And this is one of those, I like to call these the Cannes Film Festival options, we've talked about it before, where they have a film market all around the festival and they shop scripts to all the various international territories. And what they do is they sell off the rights ahead of the shooting schedule, and whatever money they can get from that becomes the shooting budget. And then any money left over becomes their profit. So in the case of this film, you'll see the big tell is at the beginning, it says Saban Films. And then you've got about 7 other title cards come up for all these various production companies that you've never heard of. These are the ones, like that's the one distributing in Italy. They got the England rights. This one does it in France. And so they'll get 2 million here, 2.5 million from this one, 1.5 from that country. And they'll get a $15 million shooting script, make the movie for 12 million. They just earned a $3 million profit. And a lot of times these contracts, in order to sell them, it has to be sold as a Hollywood release. So they'll put it in like 6 theaters.
Oh my gosh.
Evidenced by the fact that this sports a box office total of like 68 grand or something.
Yeah, under $69,000. So that must have been what they did to it.
Yeah, they probably released it for one weekend in like 3 theaters in New York, 2 or 3 in Los Angeles, with hardly any advertising or anything else. Even though it's got Alec Baldwin, Skeet Ulrich, and Hesh.
Oh my gosh! It was only
heard of it.
released in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was released in 5 countries. None of them America. Hungary,
Right.
Croatia, the UAE, Portugal, and Slovakia. Where the heck is Slovakia?
So and that is exactly what it is. So they probably, gave Alec Baldwin $1 million. He might have shot for a week, maybe. And most of his scenes take place inside of a van. So it isn't like they had to jet him out to exotic locations or anything. It's like, no, get in the Ford, turn around from the front seat, and bark at people for a couple of minutes. That's the extent of his work here. So it's it's one of those. Like, this generally would have gone straight to video in the old days, straight to DVD, that kind of thing. So I
can get with him a little bit. Like some of the Baldwin stuff, I'm like, it's hit or miss for me. I mean, he's not a terrible actor. He's just a terrible person. So
right. No, he's a capable actor. In fact, I loved him in 30 Rock. I thought he just nailed that character. He might have been himself, but still, he nailed it.
But this thing, he's all sorts of terrible in it. He overacts most of what he's doing.
Yeah, basically the entirety of his acting is done by a cowboy hat. That's pretty much it.
That's how he defines himself.
It's like, do you see this? I'm a gruff storm chaser. That's what it says right here on my script. And that's what I'm doing, being gruff.
Even his death scene is stupid.
I had to replay that, and we'll get to that in a bit.
I wanted to watch him get hit by a cow. That's really what I was hoping for.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a letdown as far as your opinion of Alec Baldwin. Well, as we said, this is a tornado movie. It does involve storm chasing, kind of.
Does it?
Well, a lot of it's implied. We basically get the feeling of it. We get the insistence that they're storm chasing, but not so much seeing it. It's just a thing that's there. Take our word for it.
It's got this weird MacGuffin. Like there's this thing that's driving the movie, right? The MacGuffin. And then they just like kind of lose it near the end. It just disappears. And then it becomes a different MacGuffin. And then that MacGuffin's not addressed much at all afterwards. And then you're like, well, where'd the plot go for this film? We were 35. I was watching it with my daughter. And we're 35 minutes into it. And she just says, what is this movie about? I have no idea. I know what I'm supposed to be about. What am I supposed to be watching for? But like, none of that is happening. So I don't know what you're doing.
It's kind of like, this is all about tornadoes. And really, it's just all about family grief with tornadoes in the background. Kind of. This will probably indicate to you everything. And like I said, a lot of echoes to Twister. not necessarily stealing the plot, but there's a lot of those touch points throughout. There's like, I've seen this before. I've seen that before.
Well,
So
the
it
guy
opens.
who did the soundtrack for this thing, because he was scoring a different movie.
Well, that was one of the only quality aspects of the film, dare I say. It's just that it was never placed well. Like there was one scene where just this massive orchestral upswelling, like, dun, 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 and you're just like, holy crap! I'm looking at clouds. That's all I'm.
Oh, worse than that. We're like watching him, and he's like, it's like you said, orchestral swells, and the music it's really good music. It doesn't belong in this film, but it's really good music, and it's swelling and building, and the horns are going, and you can hear the timpanis, boom, dum, dum, bum, bum, and he just touches the side. It's just the dude is just there, and he's touching the side of a truck, and it says his name on the side of it. He just goes, he just touches. I'm like, I feel like a raptor. Like it felt like it was Jurassic Park music, and the raptor was about to jump out of the back of the truck and eat him.
Yeah, it seemed almost as if they were in editing and the director's like, this scene needs something. Okay. How about an 80-piece orchestra? Nailed it. Put it in. Go. Dum, 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 dum. Okay, he's putting
really
on a backpack.
Good music. It might be the best music this guy has ever done. What's his name? His name is Corey Wallace. He's got 81 composing credits. So, I give him some. I want to watch Attack of the Potato Clock. That's something he's done. but it doesn't belong in this film, and it really does feel like he created music and they just bought it from him and applied it to the movie, and it just sort of lined up.
Yeah, I got more of a feeling of like they probably shopped around and then they hit a price point. Can you do it for this much? Great. And then he said, wait a second, disaster movie. This is my shot. I'm taking it. And he did. And I'm applauding him. I'm not knocking the guy whatsoever. It's like, dude, whatever you got paid, it should have been more. I'm just saying.
He's super talented.
You overworked for this particular film.
He's the best. He's the best actor in the movie.
Yes. The most dramatic aspect of this film, you didn't see the guy. He is a baton. Just take my word for it. Well, the first touchstone is right away to Twister, and that is we have to have the childhood backstory that infused the star of the movie with his, I'll call it a relationship with Storms. Young kid, his dad is clearly a storm chaser. He's got a tricked out equipment truck. Got his name, Brody Storm Chasers, on the side of it. And he's pulling away. And no, Dad, don't go. I want to go with you. Well, Ann Hesh is his mother. And apparently she used to be a storm chaser, but they had a kid. So her dreams were forestalled. She has to now stay home with the kid. And she does all the storm directing with maps on the kitchen table and a walkie-talkie.
Did you notice that they never show the dad's face? Like the whole opening scene all the way to his death, they never show.
It's always shot from behind, shot from neck down.
And that's not the only time. They do that for like some of the people at the school. They do it for the two cops later in the film that are working with Anne. There's another scene, like I think near the gas station, where I don't know if they just couldn't afford faces in this film, but like it started to be a noticeable trend.
There might be like a Screen Actors Guild requirement. Like if you're technically on screen, you get paid a higher scale. It's kind of
I guess, because they were all extras essentially, right? The dad's he's a main character point.
Yeah,
he's essentially an extra.
He's there, but you never see him. You see his jacket, you see him, well, his wrist later. But the other thing is, we get this backstory. So he goes out, and we're supposed to believe Bill Brody, he's like the storm chaser of all storm chaser. He's so good that other storm chasers look up to him in godlike fashion. That's how good he is. And yet somehow he doesn't have the best truck and equipment in the field, just like Twister.
Yeah.
As you recall, when everybody regarded Bill as just this mythical figure that could taste tornadoes, basically, and yet they were like the hard scrabble storm chasers with a pickup truck and a Winnebago, and that's about it.
Did you see him pay homage to Bill Paxton?
I don't think so.
When the kid is on his computer Googling his dad, his first letter he types in is B, and the first thing that Google auto completes to is Bill Paxton. It's a picture of Bill Paxton. Then he finishes typing. He types in Bill, and it says Paxton, and he types in Brody afterwards.
So I guess that was maybe like an attempt to say, well, no, we're not stealing from Twister. We're paying homage.
It's in the same universe. It's a Twister universe.
Yes. We're Cyclone adjacent with this film. So Dad drives off, and because there's too much crosstalk on the walkie-talkie, Ann Hesh is in a panic state in the kitchen. She's desperately trying to direct him to take a north escape route away from the storm. It's growing too big. How she knew this, I'm not really sure, because she's looking at papers on a desk. But she was convinced he was going to die if he doesn't listen to her. She keeps trying to interject, but they keep talking back and forth. Oh my gosh, look at that upswell. Oh, that cell is amazing. Look at this one. And she can't get through to warn him. Lo and behold, he gets taken down by the very thing he loves most in life, and that is tornadoes. Yes, Mr. Brody passes away. This backstory.
And I feel like maybe that the people making this film didn't understand how a walkie-talkie works. There's no crosstalk on a walkie. Somebody's got the button down. The other person can't hear you. If you've got the button down, you're not hearing them.
Well, this, and to cut them a little slack, this is kind of a Hollywood thing, because we even saw that in Die Hard, where they start talking and interrupting each other mid-sentence and such. It's like, no, you're on a single channel. You can't do that. But, whatever. This movie's not Die Hard, by the way, so we're not going to be as sympathetic to it.
Well, no, but also, like, if it was a cell phone and there was an open cell, I get he's on the phone with her and he's talking to her, but they already make the comment that he leaves his cell phone at home. Like, that's suddenly a thing. Like, that's a character trait, I guess, that you leave your cell phone.
That's what the Brodies do, Paul.
Right. So now he's on this. Why is he just like being killed by a tornado and holding down the button? How is that the one thing he manages to hold on to?
I think it was
on the radio.
You could hear him talking to other guys, and they're like getting excited about the storm. Like there's like, we have an anvil crown taking place in the northeast quadrant. Can you believe that? Oh my gosh, check this convection taking place. And meanwhile, she's like, Bill, get out of there, Bill. I don't know why she's in a panic.
I don't know why they put a 700-pound dude in the backseat of a Camry. How big is that dude?
Yeah, there's a lot of questions. Now, arguably, I have to say, full disclosure, Paul and myself did not go to school for meteorological studies, so we're not.
That's true.
High expert criticism taking place here, but nonetheless. Anyway, Bill Brody passes away in the storm. 8 minutes this took. It's like as soon as the guy drove off the parking lot of the house, I was like, he's doomed. He's not going to make it. I know this. He's going to die. And yet that was in the first 15 seconds. 8 minutes go by. We're still building this backstory of Brody dying in a storm that we knew was going to happen. So this is the first issue. Now we're in present day.
10 years. This is important. This is 10 years later. They say 10 years later. So the kid was every bit of how old? 6?
I would have gone with
7.
I was thinking like 8 to 10 range.
That's probably closer. 10. Do you know how old this dude is supposed to be in this movie? The lead character.
He's in high school, so he's got to be 16, 17.
William is supposed to be 16.
Okay.
The kid that we saw, young William, is at least 8 to 10. So he should be 18 or 20.
Yeah, but he also looks it because he's about 6'4".
Dude,
the actor.
My daughter goes, how old and tall is this kid? And she goes, oh my gosh, The dude is 27 and he's 6'4". He's playing a 16-year-old. They didn't get any of this right.
Wow. There you go. So we're referring to William Brody. He is the scion of the Brody storm chasing clan. And now, understandable, as you'd expect, with teenagers that just lost a parent, he's brooding. So there he is in the basement with a rather odd-looking mechanical device. One would dare say it might have something to do with tornadoes. I'm going to dare and say it. It has something to do with tornadoes. Now, we go through the various angers, and they're dealing with things and such. And he's in school, looks out a classroom window, and he sees a massive storm brewing off on the horizon. He promptly climbs on the teacher's desk and climbs out the window.
Well, we got to go back into why he's even there to begin with. So he's sitting in class, and this girl that he likes, Harper, played by Jordan Simon, who, by the way, she's 19 or 20 filming this film, making this movie. This dude's 27. They were just a couple years away from pulling an Under Siege 2 situation. You know what I'm talking about? We've talked about that before. And the teacher's up there talking about weather-related nonsense or physics or chemistry, something stupid. And then the security guard walks in and says, I need this Brody kid, William Brody, to go to the principal's office. And they found something in his locker. Like they're doing random locker searches. And you're like, okay, what's this kid got? And you got to figure he's brought this stupid looking MacGuffin with him. It's just, it's it looks like a transformer canister that you would see hanging outside your house.
Yeah, I mean, it's like what, maybe a yard tall, 6 inch to a foot wide cylinder.
It fits in his backpack, but it's nondescript. Like did somebody report him? And he's holding it. Like he's sitting in the chair holding the backpack on his lap. So if that's why he's in the principal's office, because they found the backpack, why are you giving him the backpack if you think it's a bomb? And why are you calling him to the...
People keep talking about it being a bomb because it stands up, and on the end you'll see some dials and switches and a meter and such. This is a secret Brody storm device. Why he brought it to school was my question.
And why would they find it in a random locker search and then give it to him?
I'm pretty sure somebody ratted him out. Like, we saw him put a bomb in his locker and then go to class. It just doesn't make any damn sense, but nonetheless, he's got it.
He jumps out the window. He hops up on
he climbs up the teacher's desk and goes through the window. Instead of go down the hall, take the stairs, he needs to get on the roof of the building.
He parkours himself here. And then he's standing on the corner of the building.
But the part that cracks me up is he does it. He gets out there and he's dealing with the device or whatever. And everybody in class is just mystified by this. Oh my God, what's he doing? Check it out over there. He's sitting on a roof. He's not doing anything. From your vantage point, you see a guy on a roof, and that is it.
And the best part is how the class reacts. So the first part is it's a teacher just looks out the window, right? And you would have thought it was a scene from Red Dawn where the commies are landing out in the field, and everybody just gets up. Everybody in class just gets up, and not a single person pulls out their cell phone. That's how you know that this thing is not scripted well. Because if you're in a classroom in 2020 and a bunch of teenagers, the first thing that's happening is that thing's streaming live on TikTok immediately. Immediately.
But they're all just completely mystified. Oh my gosh, what is he doing? Can you look at him out there? He's on the roof. And that is the extent of it.
Oh, and the background chatter. What do they call that when they come back and they redo audio on top of other audio in post-production?
Oh, when they do the looping, the
ADR. ADR. There's a lot of ADR in this thing, but it's mostly from background people. So you hear a lot of chatter that's just clearly just laid on top of all the students talking after the fact. and nobody's got, and they do it like in the grocery store scene, and anywhere there's a lot of people, they add background chatter for like effect.
Oh yeah, you were at the diner and it sounded like you were sitting in a football game or something. Hold it down, I'm trying to order.
And this is what we couldn't get past. And my daughter's like, didn't they say they moved to Florida at one point? And I'm like, yeah, I think they said they're cleaning houses in Florida. She goes, then why does it look like they're in the middle of Oklahoma? Like they're going to high school in Oklahoma? Because I don't know about you, I've never seen an open prairie in Florida. And that's what this kid is staring at, is open prairie with a giant storm sitting outside the.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can, like, if you drive through the state, I do it on occasion. You'll see sometimes those areas where there is a lot of. We're not a tornado active area, though.
No,
it's not like that. I mean, we get them, but it's usually with like a hurricane or something. It's not like, the normal storms and those, tornadoes happen, but not like they do in the Midwest where it's like, shit, it's April, tornado season.
I mean, some of this was filmed in Montana, and clearly this particular portion of the scene was filmed in Montana for have that much open space. There's no way this was filmed in Moultrie, Georgia, where they filmed a lot of the principal shooting.
Yeah, I think Georgia was probably a lot of the interior shots and building locations and such, but none of it's really very fragmented. We were all over the map, it seemed like, and at the same time, you never knew where you were. So we're just going with. I got to be honest, I missed the Florida part.
Yeah, I mean, other than I sent you a screenshot, we're we're it, and I'm like, what is happening? This girl is driving this stick shift Mustang, and she's got a Florida license plate. I'm like, I almost completely forgot they were in Florida. Like nothing in this movie screams I'm in Florida at all, ever.
Yeah, and it never, like, a lot of times you'll see it all the time too when they shoot in Florida. You're like, oh, that's definitely here. The building styles are in the. I didn't see a single palm tree in this film. So
no, there's not even pine trees.
And a good, the good portion of this is set in Texas, in Oklahoma.
And the panhandle of Texas. Yeah. We're going in, and at some point they end up in Kansas.
So Florida really didn't even amount to anything as far as this movie goes. It didn't contribute in any capacity. But he's on the roof with his not a bomb device, and everybody's mystified by this.
It's not a bomb device.
And
maybe he can get a visit from to the White House with Obama for his not a bomb device.
Yes, exactly. And he basically comes to a realization that both of his parents, who are tornado experts, never did, and that is that this thing works. Okay, we still don't know what the thing is or what it does, but apparently it has some form of radio signaling to determine a tornado miles away from a safer distance.
Yeah, but like, okay, he has to walk out into the field. Like he sees the tornado. He's like, I'm listening to its heartbeat.
There was only really one time ever that this was applied.
It's the equivalent of opening up your window and when it's raining and then sticking your hand out and go, it's raining.
Yeah, this one is like, well, now you know it's raining down the road. You don't have to go over there and get wet. But the whole point of storm chasing is everybody wants to get right up against the tornado anyway. So even though he proved that this thing works, it never mattered because it's like, yeah, we can sense a tornado from 5 miles away. Great. We're going to go about 2 feet from it. So let's go.
Well, but not just that, but it's such a big open prairie, right? Like you can see for hundreds of miles in certain cases is out there in Kansas and Oklahoma. So you can tell when a tornado touches down. You see it forming. We watch it form. So what are you listening for? Like, I get if you're like, it's a barometer and you're like, oh, a tornado is going to form over here. At least that kind of stuff made sense in Twister, where they're letting Dorothy too go up there and drop all the little things to read stuff. You're not predicting. You're helping gather information to predict a tornado. This thing is supposed to predict a tornado, and yet it works, and it suddenly catches up with him every time. Like, just stop looking down at your little goo gadget. You're not a bomb, and look forward. There's your tornado.
I mean, great. It works. Nobody wants it.
No.
It's like you could be 10 miles away and determine a tornado. Yeah, where's it at? 10 miles that way. Well, that's where I'm going.
Take it to Shark Tank and see how it works.
It's like, but you can stay here and listen to it. No, that's not what we do. We're storm chasers. We get into the heart of the storm. So anyway, it works. And I guess this kind of establishes that he's got the storm bug in him. He's just like his father, while his mom is both destitute and pretty much just cynical about storms in general any longer. While she was one of the experts, now she just hates them because they killed her husband. Understandable. Get it. She doesn't want her son anywhere around this now.
But she moves to Florida. Like, there's no place to go, lady. There's hurricanes here.
Yeah, it's
like, I don't want to be around weather. Well, I don't know where you want to move, but
Death
weather
Valley,
kind of is all around us.
So
give this movie some credit, though. I will give it some credit. Did you hear any mention at all about climate change in this film?
Don't believe I did. No,
I did not either.
Yeah.
I had to go back
Good
and
point.
check. It's not in here at all. They kept it apolitical. They kept that kind of aspect out of this thing. And believe it or not, Twisters does the same thing.
Huh.
And it's catching all sorts of hell from the
of course,
the climate police, the writers in Hollywood, and for not including it. And
that would be the people that would not go see this movie anyway. So
CNN, the Hollywood Reporter, all the big ones are like they're blasting on director Lee Isaac Chung for not bringing it up. And he literally says that movies should not preach a message. They should be entertainment. Bro, I don't know what else Lee Isaac Chung has made in his life, but I'm going to look him up and I'm going to watch his stuff because I want to be entertained, not preached to. It's funny because I went through and looked at a lot of the comments on all of these sites that are talking about it. Even Screen Rant does it. We got a lot of people like that like to talk about political stuff and how everything should be intermeshed, and it shouldn't be. If it works for the film, yes, include it. If it doesn't work for the film, you don't need it. And everybody, I would say 75 to 80% of the comments in most of these sections are in support of director Isaac or director Chung.
Well, that's good.
They say the same thing. I want to be entertained. I do not need to be preached to. I can watch the news for that that's what I'm looking for.
But see, there's also a component that kind of precludes that, because if you're going to sit there and lecture that, these things are getting more intense and stronger and bigger and more frequent, well, that means you are calling yourself an expert on tornadoes, and pretty much the entire thrust of Twisters, and yes, Supercell is to learn more about them.
Well, they did the same thing in San Andreas, I think. It's an earthquake movie, and they somehow blamed it on climate change.
I love that so much. I love that so much.
It's like that movie. Earthquakes have zero to do with climate change, and vice versa.
The climate caused tectonic plates to shift.
Right.
I'm not a geological expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I understand at least that crap that happens a couple miles underground. It don't matter what the temperature is. They're doing it.
Yeah. But look, I give this guy some credit that's this director here. This is his first American film. He directed one series on The Mandalorian, and then he did a bunch of Japanese shorts. So, look, I like that. I hope the dude does well. I mean, I haven't seen this Twisters movie yet. It's supposedly a fun romp. I'll give it that. So if it's fun and it's summertime, that's all I need. So I hope this guy does well just for that. But I do give this film some credit for not bringing that portion of it up at all.
Yeah, it's just basically it's just that overwhelming passion that's in your veins of chasing storms. So she's basically trying to tamp her son down, and he's also wrestling with the fact that he's got a crush on a schoolmate of his, and she's teaching him how to drive a stick shift Mustang. Where a girl in high school got a hold of that sweet ass car, I don't know, but nonetheless, she got it.
Not from her parents, because they're not mentioned anywhere in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, outside of Bill's parents, nobody else has family. It seems, amazingly enough. And so he's still kind of sullen and figuring things out, and then he gets a package in the mail. And in it is a leather-bound notebook. Lo and behold, it used to be his father's. And he's leafing through it and just becoming more and more inspired. And it's a tangible connection to the father he loves and misses. And it was sent to him by his Uncle Roy down in Texas. And there's a lot that goes unexplained in this movie and yet is heavily relied upon. Roy, for some reason, is thought to be responsible for Brody dying. Will's mother doesn't talk to him anymore as a result of this. He doesn't talk to the family at all. But Will tracks him down because, lo and behold, Roy, played by Skeet Ulrich, I am forever mystified and impressed that anybody managed to get a career in Hollywood with the name Skeet.
Skeet.
I love it. I just, congrats all around for that.
Is that his real name?
Who cares? That's his name. You don't change it, touch it, or ruin it. And don't even look and find out what his real name is because I don't care. He's Skeet.
You know I'm gonna.
What was that movie? I saw him in with Cuba Gooding Jr. And it was speed. They should have just called this thing temperature. They had a device that if it got above a certain temperature, that it would just like wipe out all of life within a 5-mile radius or something. And they stole this from a facility because the bad guys were going to get it and they had to keep it cold.
Is it called Cold Fusion? No.
No, I've seen this movie like 5 or 6 times too, and I can't remember offhand what it was.
Chill Factor.
Boom, there you go. But yeah,
Chill
literally,
Factor.
It's such a ripoff of Speed. They should have just called it like temperature or Fahrenheit, something like that.
Okay, his name is Brian Ray Trout. Skeet Trout is what you should have gone with.
Skeet. Okay, don't ruin this for me, Paul. He's Skeet Ulrich.
old Mr. Trout. Skeet Trout.
So Will sees the return address, and then Roy even says at one point, "Damn it, I knew it was a mistake to put that on there." But he tracks him down to his hard scrabble cabins out in the flatlands of Texas. He's very angry at Will. He hasn't seen Will since he was a kid. He's like, "Son of a bitch, I can't believe you showed up, you piece of crap. Go home, get out of here." And he does a U-turn with the van that's got Brody Storm Tours on the side of it. He totally stole their name. Oh my God.
He's in Texas. He's in Texas, right?
Yeah.
We've established that. How did this dumb 27-year-old, 16-year-old kid get there?
Hitchhiking and everything else, because we saw him jump out of a truck on that dirt road as he walked up to the property.
So he hitchhiked on the back of a truck from Florida to the panhandle of Texas?
Yes.
In the same clothes that he left in?
I'm just going with that.
So let me tell you something. My son, I love him to death. He's a dipstick. So we go on this trip. We go on this long vacation trip, our big family vacation. And he packs an Xbox in his backpack. And that's what we get swabbed going through the JEA or JIA terminal. And I'm like, "What are you doing? We're going into the Grand Canyon and places." I said, "Where do you think you're going to hook an Xbox to?" But like, it's too late now. We're at the airport. You're committed to having this thing in your backpack the whole time. That's this kid carrying around this stupid MacGuffin bomb, not a bomb. And then I send him on a trip to see his cousin, and they take a road trip down from Springfield, Missouri, at my sister's house, all the way down to Tampa. He takes a backpack, and he's wearing the clothes on his back and one set of clothes in his backpack, and he's gone for 4 days. And I'm like, what are you doing? That's what this kid reminds me of. He's got one set of clothes, and he's hiking from Florida to Texas.
Well, I just love this too, that, he's on this, wide open area of his property, and he's does a U-turn with the van, and then Will runs up and stands in front of the truck. He's incapable of turning, apparently. So he just leans on the horn. Will doesn't move. He's like, "Son of a bitch." All right, get in. Oh, I guess everything's been resolved now.
Well, the best part is he gets there right as the guy's leaving. Like, what impeccable timing. Had that red truck been driving down the road 5 minutes later, he just walks up to an empty house in the middle of nowhere, Texas.
Yeah, if he missed a turn or something, then the entire movie would have been waylaid. So fortuitous that. So they head off. Meanwhile, Anne Hesh the night before got really mad and tried to steal the notebook from Will. And he's like, no, this is totally my dad's. Leave me alone. I'm going to my room and locking the door. And does. She gets up the next morning and finds out that he's not in his bed. She's distraught. She calls his cell phone and it rings there in the room. He left it behind him, just like Brodies do.
So I'm to believe that the 16-year-old leaves the house with a backpack, just the clothes in his bag, a bomb, not a bomb, and no cell phone. And he's just going to hitchhike his way to Texas. To which his uncle, not an uncle, there's a lot of people, not your people in this thing, says, here's $20, take a bus ride back to Florida. Bro, where are you going for $20?
Yeah, no. You're going to the end of the city line. That's about it. But yeah, that was a dramatic moment, Paul. Don't undercut it with facts.
If we could just hand him a $100 bill and go, here, I'll drop you off at the closest bus station. Okay, that makes sense. A 20?
Yeah, so Anne Hesh is upset. She's going to find her child, and then she looks in the trash and sees the massive envelope the notebook was delivered in, and she said, oh, that son of a bitch, Roy, that's where he went. That piece of crap, son of a piece of just a... So she's going to go get him. Hops in her car that does not work, and the 17-year-old with smoking Mustang comes up and says, well, I like him too, and I want to help. So she goes with. Parents, do we need to notify anybody that you're in town with this? Well, just go. Okay.
Again, they're in Florida. We were supposed to believe. First, the cops tell Anne that he hasn't been gone 24 hours yet. He hasn't been gone 24 hours, so they can't show him as a missing person. But the bro hitchhiked from Florida to the panhandle of Texas. So in less than 24 hours. To the point, he hasn't been gone to the point. Dude, I drove from Jacksonville to Houston, and it took me 3 days. And that was me driving 8 hours a day to get there.
Okay, if I leave my house, by the time she called the cops, I wouldn't be to you yet. No. I'm still in Florida.
I think, isn't Florida like the only place where you can drive from like one end to the other and in a day and still not leave the state?
I think Texas and Alaska would qualify. Maybe Montana.
Because you got to start all the way like south of Miami and the Keys, and then go all the way up to Jacksonville, and then hang a hard left and head out west all the way to Alabama is the next place you go to.
Yeah, we just made that truck actually for the Eclipse a couple months ago.
So how is this Joker getting the this whole thing? Like, if they said, hey, he's been gone for a couple of days and she's looking for him, I'm like, I get that. You literally set up a timeline that says less than 24 hours.
If I leave when she's calling the cops, I might make Tampa. Just saying.
So then they don't take, and they don't pack any clothing. No, she's still in her maid's outfit.
Yeah, and the girlfriend is like, well, I can drive. Okay, let's go. Mom, Dad, I'm taking off with somebody you've never met before. No, on the road. Bye.
I'm not going to take a cell phone. She doesn't have a cell phone. I'm not going to take another set of clothing. I'm not going to ask you where we're going. Nope. I'm not going to say, do I have enough money to get to where we're going? They've already said they're destitute. Anne's character is still wearing her knee pads. She's got her maid's outfit on and knee pads. Like, you can't take 5 minutes to go change your clothes and maybe pack up a little something.
It's an emergency, Paul. She has to go get Will 5 states over. There's no time. No time. Well, cut back to Texas now, and we come to find out that Brody Storm Tours actually does get tourists and take them to tornadoes. This is a thing. And it's mostly full van except Will's in the front seat. And then the arrival of Alec Baldwin.
Holy crap, this dude.
Gonna go with the fact that he's probably a villain of sorts in this. He's wearing a black cowboy hat.
That's how you know he's a villain.
This is Alec Baldwin acting. He's playing Zane, the hard scrabble gruff storm chaser Zane. And all he does is insult people. Who the hell's this? What the hell's he doing in my chair? Get in the back, you damn kid. If he's occupying a seat and he's turning to Roy now and saying he better be paying for it. Roy's always tried to sell t-shirts and hats with the Storm logo on it. This whole thing has just got sham written all over it.
Okay. Can you do that? Can you take a storm chasing situation? Is that something you can actually do?
You mean like tours?
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul. Didn't you see the scene where you sign a waiver?
Holy crap.
Everything has cleared.
There's the storm chasing tour in Valley Center, Kansas, and the extreme tornado tour in Norman, Oklahoma. And I feel like, Brad, I know what our first road trip's going to be.
Well, I think you mean second, but yes, go on.
That's true. You and I are going to go. We're going to go storm chasing. We're going to pick up Aggie, and we're going to go storm chasing. After
we go tap your keg at the bourbon distillery.
I'm bringing a cosplay suit. I'm gonna wait for a strong wind, and you're gonna capture me on video being blown around in a cow's costume.
All right, I'll be in the van with the video.
That's how I'm going out. I've already picked my death. You know, most people don't get to pick their death. I'm picking mine. That's how I'm going out.
No strings, folks. No strings. That's Paul. That's not a cheap fake video.
He's not going to be on the next show, but look how he went down.
This episode of Disasters in the Making is a video segment and hosted by me alone, and you'll soon find out why.
Just me mooing. You'll have to put the moo. You'll have to overdub the moo in post.
So yeah, Zane is a he basically he angers everybody. He constantly threatens Roy with being fired. He barks at even his customers when he's not being melodramatic. We're about to go into the teeth of the bear cage, folks. Strap in.
The teeth of the bear cage. I've never heard it called the bear cage.
Well, I'm assuming that they did talk to a lot of storm chasers because some of the footage actually came from a legit Texas guy that's a storm chaser. So they were using some of his footage. They're driving down a road and they see all of a sudden just a phalanx of other vehicles pull up on the side. All of the storm chasers. Apparently, this is all the rage in America now. There's dozens and dozens of storm chasers everywhere. And he directs Roy, pull it over here. He's between two trucks. The other people are like, no, you can't park here. Screw it out your ass, Tony. And they pull off the road. And they're like, no, you got to stay on the road. You can't be in the grass. He's like, screw it. But they keep driving until they're actually in a mud pile. Again, full disclosure, not a storm chaser by trade. But if I'm in a severe rain event, I'm pretty well sure you don't want to be in the mud to start with.
Yeah.
Guess what happens? They get stuck in the mud. Who saw this coming? I mean, amazing.
And they pulled into the only mud spot. And how did you have a vehicle that you know you're storm chasing, you know you're going to be stuck in rain and hail and wind, and you bring something with Ling Long tires on it?
Yeah, this looks like one of those Ford white vans you get from Home Depot for $19
Only thing missing on the side is free candy.
Yeah, they just slap the logo over the, U-Haul rental logo on the side of the door. So they get stuck. They're filming. Oh, this is fantastic. Look at that imagery. I'm getting a new Rolex with these images I'm shooting. And then a storm sneaks up behind everybody somehow. Look, there's a crash of lightning, and them and all the other storm chasers freak out because nobody saw this coming, despite them having $50,000 in storm tracking computer equipment in all their vehicles. But anyway,
he's got the heartbeat thing. The MacGuffin is with him. Why isn't he using that?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. He doesn't for quite a while.
He already knows it works.
Well, they were driving at one point, and Roy let Zane know that this is Brody's kid. He's like, really? What do you know about storms? He's like, I know a lot. And he opens up the computer and says, okay, tell me what this is going to do. And he does. And he uses all the right jargon and terminology and just floors Zane. He's like, all right, kid, that's pretty impressive. Let's see how you do in the bear cage, though.
You can't handle the bear cage.
The bear cage. Apparently, the bear cage is when you're right in front of a tornado that's about to hit you smack ass in the front head. But I had to look it up. I had to go to Reed Timmer's website. Apparently so, yeah. Like when they said, too, they got stuck and then they got in a hailstorm. And the hail was like the size of eggs or softballs and stuff. And they said, that's gorilla hail. Reed Timmons coined that term. That's his. So... I think they did tap the shoulders of a few storm chasers, at least just to get, kind of like they did at ER. You have a doctor on set. Yeah, we got to stab him in the throat. Excuse me, thorax. Got it. Okay. So, yeah, am I in front of the storm? No, you're in the bear cage, son. That's the way that all works. Everything has to have a special term because it's special, you see. So they get smacked around by all this hail, blows out the windows. They all freak out. It's denting the roof of the van. Thank you, computers. The hailstorm was CGI'd on the roof.
Oh, my gosh. It was terrible.
It looked like rubber clay or something with computer ice bouncing. Okay, thanks, movie. But then they survive, and Zane just starts laughing. It's like, there you go, folks. You're welcome. I'm thinking, all right, the windows blew out, rain is pouring in. How about the equipment? You want to do something about that? Maybe cover it up? Waterproof canisters, something that you got? No? Okay, I guess we're cool.
How do you not have, this vehicle is designed by its very nature to be in the middle of storms. You're chasing storms. It's designed that way. How are they don't have like reinforced steel around the side of the truck, like something they can just drop down to cover up at least the windows? Or why have they like put in bulletproof glass to help prevent that?
This van was equipped for one thing: field trips.
Yeah, that's essentially what it is.
This is not a storm chasing van by any stretch of the imagination. Like, okay, Reed Timmer, he's the guy that's been on Discovery Channel. You've probably seen some of that stuff, and he's got that tricked out vehicle that looks like a round tank.
Yes.
$750,000 that thing goes for. He's got double reinforced glass. It's all aerodynamic welding on the outside. He could shoot plungers into the pavement if a tornado hits right on top of him. He even has apertures on the top. Like the whole thing about twisters, they tried to get Dorothy into the storm. Timber figured it out. Rockets. Makes perfect freaking sense. So he's got the stuff on the roof and he can control them from the inside. So he could like aim rockets at a tornado.
What?
Yeah. So like if they put sensors or something on these, like the model rockets you have, but the bigger ones, so they can launch up into the storm and then get sucked up into it. Boom, there you go. Research, science, hey, they figured it out. I don't have to go see Twisters now, but I'm still going to. But yeah, so the passenger van gets beaten all to crap. Shocker. And we keep going back and forth to Ann Hesh. All they're doing is driving. They get hit on at a convenience store. They hang out at a hotel. They mope and they moan a bit. They really don't do much.
Hit on? It was the dude was just standing there talking to the girl. And
yeah, he was hitting on the girl, and then Ann Hesh comes up and starts getting all snarky with him, and then cons him out of his cigarettes because she's just like that. But they go to their next location. Everybody's at a convenience store. Apparently, all the storm chasers do the same thing all the time. Nobody works independent of each other. It's always 50 trucks and vehicles at a convenience store, at a diner. So they are at this place. Everybody's fueling up, getting coffee and what have you. And then, I don't know, something happens, crack a lightning or something. And everybody at one time starts going tear ass out of there. We got to go. We got to go. We got to go. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
The storm just showed up. Like you can't, they literally have what appears to be a tracking satellite inside of this van with full motion video screen capture. I mean, it looks like the van is tricked out to be able to follow Doppler. So it's not like chasing storms of yesteryear. And the storms that are being formed are happening like hundreds of miles away.
Well, this entire scene cracks me up so much. They screwed the pooch about 6 different ways in this whole scene. And understand too, we've already bought into the fact that they're one of the lesser storm chasers. They don't have the really great vehicles like everyone else has, which means everybody else has better technology as well. So everybody bolts down the road. Will is inside the store buying popcorn. And Zane is like, we got to go. We got to go. He's like, we got to wait for Will. He's like, you got 90 seconds or we're out of here. And so they just sit there and they're drumming their fingers on the dashboard while Will's stuck in line listening to a weather report. Here's the thing. I'm, again, not a storm chaser. Instead of hanging out in the van for 2 minutes, how about 15 seconds, go in the store, grab the kid and yank him back in the van?
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like that would have been both effective and saving time. Instead,
and the kid acts like he's never seen a storm before in his life, but yet he wants to be a storm chaser. Like, it really did have like segments or feels of Jurassic Park where the teenager just has zero idea what's happening, but is stupid. Like he's got no sense of surrounding, but he's watching the news.
I think it's more like he's book smart about storms, but has never witnessed them firsthand. So he could tell you what the rotational convection rate's going to be, but he's never been inside the bear cage. That's the difference.
But he's been on a ride with somebody and known that they're out there waiting on him. And
yeah,
I'm sure that's happened before.
But at the same time, hop out of the van and grab him. Okay. Yank on his hoodie and drag his ass back in the van and get down the road. But anyway,
he's 20 feet away.
They all just say, screw it, we're leaving him. And they disappear on the horizon. He walks out of the store and he's all by himself. Now, here's where things go really screwy.
Oh, my gosh.
The guy behind the counter said, well, we're perfectly safe because all the storm chasers left.
Mm-hmm.
15 seconds go by and they're no longer perfectly safe. The storm is on top of them. Everybody with the top flight technology completely missed the fact that the tornado was coming onto the store.
It was on top of them. It was like nowhere else.
So that happened. The next screw up report. The guy behind the counter says, holy crap, something's happening. He locks the door with Will outside and doesn't even think of like, hey, buddy, get in here.
Yeah. Like, why? He locked the door to the point where he turned the sign around from open to close. Like, when there's a tornado, like that's going to keep the tornado out. The tornado, I'm a tornado. Oh,
he should have just
gotten this place is closed. We're going to have to keep moving.
He should have grabbed a paper and a Sharpie and just said, screw you, Will, and taped it to the window.
Die, filthy scum.
Brody, you suck.
That's where he goes to hide.
He does the only thing he can possibly do, and he hides inside of a phone booth. Who knew these still existed? But this one does. And it still works, by the way.
It still works.
Has a dial tone, but then he realized he's in real trouble when the busy signal came on.
Who was he going to call?
Well, it was just hanging, and then he drops down on the floor, and the wind was coming under the door, and it's starting to blow his dad's notebook apart, which he starts to panic, and he's like desperately grabbing all the papers. Like, dude, you're in a phone booth. You're not going anywhere. The paper's not going anywhere.
He looked like he was inside of one of those money tornado machines where you got to grab as many dollar bills as you can hold, and that's what you're going to win.
You got 30 seconds. Go.
But why does he get – and this is – Erica brings this point up. She's like, why does he went in to get a bag of popcorn. Why does he have his dad's notebook with him? Where was he storing it while he was buying the popcorn? And why did he feel it was necessary to remove it from its storage location when he got into the phone booth?
All valid questions that this movie refuses to answer. So he's in the phone booth and survives. And that's when, for some reason, then everybody realizes, oh my God, the tornado hit the convenience store. So the storm chasers turn around. They can't be, 3 miles down the road?
Maybe.
Somehow the news crews, however, show up before anybody else to interview Will. Why?
Because he survived the storm in a phone booth. They pulled an old Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull refrigerator moment.
But I mean, so the storm passes, he survives. It's like it's almost as if he opened the door of the phone booth and the news crews were waiting for him. Oh my God, you survived this, Will. What do you have to say for yourself? One, why do they care? Two, there were people inside the store that also survived this. Aren't they special? No, because they're not a Brody. I mean, the news crews show up out of nowhere. Like, well, we just we were doing a remote convention and saw a tornado and came here. Oh my God, you were in a phone booth. We need a remote live for location shot immediately. So the storm chasers make it back after the news crews, and Zane sees this, and he's just like, well, I got to get on TV and advertise for my thing now. It's like, hey, this is Brody's kid. He's with me. I'm with the Tours, Brody Tours. It's Brody. I'm Brody Tours Zane. That's not me, but it's... And then Roy gets mad at this show, and he ends up punching him. He ends up getting fired. The two of them, Will and Roy, go to the side of the building, have an argument. He pushes Roy down.
Have you ever seen somebody fall down any easier than Skeet does in that scene?
Yeah, well,
he just touches him, and he flops harder than a soccer player.
All right, Paul, let me see you withstand the push from a 27-year-old, 6'4",
16-year-old, 27-year-old high school kid.
And so he picks him up, and I guess they kind of made an agreement to start working together. Like, I never really heard him say it. It was just like, you need me.
I have the ability to predict tornadoes that you can already see.
You need me. Okay, to do what? So they go back to Roy's place, and Roy's got this fantastic storm chasing truck that used to belong to his father.
Why aren't they using that?
A hell of a lot better than the stupid passenger van.
I don't even know. Well, the first thing he does is he sends Uncle Roy out to get the other truck, but he says it's in Oklahoma, which I guess means that it's in storage and they're not in Oklahoma. Maybe they're in Kansas. So he has to drive the broken truck to go get the new truck and then come back with the new van.
Yeah, they had the new van right away. I mean, it seemed. I mean, they talked about getting it, but the next scene, boom, they got the van.
He's like, "What took you so long?" Like, there's zero sense of time and space in this film. Even though Zane says at one point, storm chasing is 90% travel, but this movie reduces the travel down to 3%.
Although we do spend quite a bit of time inside the damn van and truck, so yeah, maybe. Well, they so he sees the truck and he's like, oh my God, get inside, sit down, take it, get behind the wheel. And some of his dad's stuff is in the glove box, and there's old lockers his dad used to use and such, and it's all a wistful, just a sweet, tender moment. And then his mom shows up all pissed off to ruin it all again. So Roy and Will go to a diner, or I should say a Mexican restaurant. And now word has gotten out. Will is Brody's son. So he comes in the restaurant and everybody applauds him. He's a celebrity now for being Brody's kid and for crouching in a phone booth.
It's a slow clap situation. They introduced the slow clap, and it doesn't make any sense because they talk about everybody being a Brody, right? Like Brody was the highly respected person, and I guess this is set. It's set in modern times, so you have to assume the internet exists. And like, why do people not already know that Brody had a son and his son and wife lived down in Florida? and like recognize him when he comes through.
Well, how about this too, though? Like 10 years after Brody died, nobody else has risen to his ranks. He's still the best ever.
Yeah, I mean, we all know
'Cause,
who
I mean-
T. Rimmer is.
Yeah, I mean,
Rimmer?
technology has gotten better since then. So
I called him, bro. I just called him T. Rimmer,
Oh, you did. Yes, you did, didn't you?
which now needs to. That should have been the name of Uncle Roy, was T. Rimmer.
Well, it sounds actually like a OnlyFans account.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh! You took it to a different place, Brad.
You were the one that brought it here. Okay, I didn't take nothing. But yeah, it's like for 10 years, nobody's been able to accomplish what Brody did. Okay, well, he made a not a bomb device that can hear tornadoes a long distance away. Fantastic. Nothing else has superseded that in the decade. So they go and after the slow clap applause, they sit down and order dinner. And then the mother says, "All right, I'm coming. You keep them there." There was one funny scene, I think, in this entire movie. She called Roy at one point after the massive storm, and he's like, no, the kid's perfectly safe with me, but he's standing outside the completely wrecked van. I was like, that's a nice touch right there. I like that. Good one. I see what you did. So he's talking to Roy about stuff, and then once again, something happened, and every single storm chaser in the restaurant tears badass out of the place.
Well, and how does she know where he's at?
Well, she was talking to Roy on the phone, I guess.
Well, she calls him from her cell phone, so she's got her cell phone, and she's talking to him on his cell phone. And at no point does she ask to talk to her son on his cell phone. And then they're at the hotel. They're at this weird seedy motel, and she's just wearing a towel in her maid outfit because they didn't bring clothes with them like a bunch of Dorcases. And she says, "Well, where are you? Are you in the panhandle of Texas?" Or she goes, "No, are you in the panhandle?" And he says, "Yes." She goes, "Don't move. I'm on my way." Like,
yeah,
you stopped at a hotel. Well, you think he's going to just stand at this this location in the random panhandle of Texas?
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm at the Mexican restaurant in Texas. That might help you out.
Oh, that narrows it way down.
That should hone you in where we're located.
The place with the huevos, rancheros.
It's life-changing, Paul. Life-changing dish.
Life-changing huevos.
So so he's talking to Will, and then while there, another storm chaser who, for some reason, did not run out of the place like everybody else. By the way, I don't think anybody paid a tab. They all dined and dashed because of a tornado.
They just took off and left these poor restaurant owners holding.
Like, holy shit, we gotta go. And it's like they're probably a couple $100 in tips just raced out into the parking lot. So Roy goes to talk with the guy and tells him, "Don't you move." Guess what? Will moved.
He moved.
He saw Zane in the parking lot and thought, "This is my chance. I'm going to follow my father's destiny with the guy that's been crapping on his destiny for 10 years. Sure. Makes perfect sense. So he goes out with Zane, and Zane's like, "All right, get in. We're going. We're going to go into the bear cage." And now he's got a couple of, Hindu Indian guys riding with him. One of them has to translate all the time.
Where did they come from, and why are they in this movie? Why do they need to have another tour? They couldn't just like get in the truck and go.
The latest tour, and they didn't buy a hat. They should have been wearing Brody Tour's hat. Come on. And yeah, it's basically,
if this dude is as rich and Indian as he say he is, oh, never mind. I see why.
Oh,
I just clicked on this dude's IMDb page. His name is Anjul Nagam, and the opening line for his bio says, Anjul Nagam was an executive producer and supporting actor in the feature film Supercell, starring Alec Baldwin. This dude made himself a spot.
So basically, they were at Cannes, and he's like, "I'll buy your film if you put me in it."
He doesn't even have any lines. The other dude has the lines.
Oh, it was the guy in the back seat that he was translating for.
Right.
Okay. Yeah,
He's the guy in the back seat.
I found it funny. Like Zane would lean over. He's like, "We're getting gorilla hail," and then he would turn over. And he's like, "Oh, gorilla."
Bro, he's given himself this dude has given himself sixth billing in this movie. He's in the film with no lines, and he's sixth billing behind Alec Baldwin.
Oh, perfect. Well, there you go. He bought his way into Hollywood.
He sure did.
Don't
Holy
knock
crap.
it. He's got a career now. How much to get one of those stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame?
I would buy 2.
Put me next to Don Trump. But they go out, and Zane is going to bring them right to the edge, right to the utter unspeakable edge. And then they get stuck in the mud again. I mean,
it's always the dang mud. It gets you every time.
It's hard to buy into the tension and drama when this is how it occurs. You're storm chasers, and you keep getting stuck in the damn mud. So they're pushing the van out. And I've had cars stuck before. I know for a fact the one thing you don't do is rev the engine and hyper spin the wheels to get out. You do the opposite.
You got to rock that son of a gun.
Yes, you get it moving. You barely move it just so you can get enough traction with the weight. That's the faster the wheel spins, all you're doing is hydroplaning in your mud and digging even deeper, you dumb shits. But again, I'm not a storm chaser. What do I know? So Zane gets out and he's pushing the van while he's telling Will, "Gun it!" So he does, and he gets unstuck, but Alec Baldwin does not. Gripping Paul, he gets sucked up into the vortex.
It was like a scene from a Superman movie where Kevin Costner dies and gets sucked into the tornado. Do you remember that scene where Kevin Costner's playing?
Oh wow, that's a while ago. Yeah,
yeah, he's playing the dad, and he tells him not to come out and save him, and Henry Cavill doesn't come out there, and it sucks him into the tornado. It was kind of like that. Like Brody's driving this car, and it's supposed to. He even makes this comment about, "Do you know how to drive?" And he says, "No, it's an automatic. You know how to drive." They set the whole scene up of him not being able to drive by putting him in a manual car, but then don't bring it to fruition, like at all. Don't even complete it, where he just has to learn how to suddenly drive a manual. That would have made more sense. He's in an automatic. And instead of Baldwin staying in the car and trying to ride it out, he gets out of the car to try to push it by himself with muddy shoes. And the car moves, 5 feet? It didn't go very far. You still have time to hop into this thing, and instead he just stands there facing the car and screaming at the top of his lungs as he dies.
Yeah, and it wasn't like a drawn out ending for him. It wasn't cinematic at all. He's just like, yeah, and then he's like a dot in the sky. I mean, it's just like zip. There goes Alec Baldwin, I guess. Okay, we're done.
Him and the cow. Alec Baldwin is the new cow.
And then for some reason, Will is trying to evade the tornado by driving in reverse.
Yeah, how fast can you go in reverse in a vehicle? I mean, reverse is one gear. It's not like you have multiple gears. I've watched some videos on a YouTube channel called Donut. I don't know if you're familiar with Donut at all. And they sometimes they'll bring up car movies. And one of the biggest things they talk about is this goof is in Fast and Furious 2, where Paul Walker spins his car backwards and it's just like riding down the highway at like a high rate of speed, like doing 100. And they're like, that would, he goes, they have one gear. It's not like you're shifting gears. You go in reverse, you're basically in first gear. So he's winding this thing out at 100 miles an hour. The transmission is going to blow up. So I don't know where this guy's going backwards.
But then Roy and Will's mom had shown up on the scene, but Will's gone. More family tension and drama. She's barking at Will at this point, screaming at him. How could you do this? And you brought him. Why did you send him that damn notebook? And just, rah, 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 rah. Back burner, honey. You got to go get your kid. Okay. So they finally get in the van and they go trying to look for Will, and Will damn near T-bones him with his reverse van. So they do that. And
again, how does she know where they're at? They took an off-road. They weren't even on the interstate anymore.
She's an expert storm chaser, Paul.
Yeah, but she's not chasing a storm. She's chasing a car.
Expert storm chaser, Paul. I just explained it.
You're right. I didn't hear you the first time. You've convinced me.
And now, because they found Will, they're no longer in danger of the tornado. Did I follow this right?
Right. Well, even the storms shake at her.
It's like, we finally found you. And the storm's like shrugged and went like, well, I guess you don't need me anymore.
All right, fellas, this place has got a closed sign on it too. We got to keep moving.
I'm off to Jasper. See ya.
I'm off to Jasper.
And it's like, he then says, it works. The device works. Okay. I mean, you've already established, though, it's basically like saying, I got the CB radio to work, and everybody's got cell phones in their hand. But now it's a sweet and touching ending. He and Roy, I guess, are going to partner up now. Did I?
Is that what happens?
At this point, I was like so checked out of the film, and it just kind of like stopped. Like all of a sudden, there was like they showed like a calm and tranquil skyline. It was like, okay, the tornado's gone. This movie dedicated to. It's like, wait, whoa, what the hell? Are we done? Are we? It's like just that quick. Okay, thank you, movie, for killing Alec Baldwin. I guess that's the best I got out of this thing. So yeah, not quite Twister quality here.
It's not quite quality. I think is you could have left the Twister part of it out.
I do love though that one of the producers of this put himself in the movie and he had no lines.
Yes, and I love that we found that out during the show. Like I didn't know that prior. That made it that much better.
Well, the thing is, I had pulled this up on one site and they had, just had like the snapshots, thumbnails of all the people in the movie, and he was included in it. And I was like, I thought he was the guy that did the translating, but with a longer hair. I just like, well, okay, yeah, I guess he was in the movie. Sure, I had no idea why. Now I do, and it's hilarious.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna walk back a little bit of criticism in this film just for a second because I was curious. So they're living in Tallahassee. So they're in the middle of the Florida Panhandle, right? And to get to the Texas Panhandle, let's just go to the center of it, which is close to Oklahoma. It would be a 18-hour trip straight.
Yeah.
So I guess this kid, if he found a way to go from location to location without stopping, he could have gotten from Tallahassee to the Texas Panhandle in under 24 hours.
Yeah, but not 6.
Not 6.
I mean, we don't know technically what time of night he left, but
we do know that he got there quicker than his mom got there, who had to stop and get a hotel room halfway through.
Look, like I said, we just made the trip from Fort Lauderdale to Dallas-Fort Worth a couple months ago. That's a good hump. We made a point of stopping halfway through. We stopped for the night.
Well, maybe she could have made the trip had she put on one of those astronaut space diapers, like that one lady did to go kill her husband, coming from Texas to Fort Lauderdale.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what she did?
I forget what her exact path was. I know she was a little psychotic and was like going after an ex-boyfriend or something.
Lisa Nowak. Oh, I love this. All you do, I just typed in space diaper female killer, which should be something you could find a movie on. And the first thing Google pops up is what happened to the female astronaut who drove with a diaper. I love the internet.
I probably should. I almost forgot about one of the actual decent scenes in this. After they reconciled, everybody like had to beat cheeks to the hotel because the storm was coming. And they said, we have no other option, but we have to get in the pool to save ourselves. Underwater shot, we see the four of them, and then we see a couple of lights, and then blammo, the van is in the water with them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they
It's kind of a cool shot. You're like looking up the water at night, and then all of a sudden the van and its headlights just sort of like, camera, here I am. Okay, that was kind of cool.
And I guess we should give the movie credit for cinematography. The cinematography on this stuff is pretty good. Cinematography, soundtrack. It was the acting, the characters, and the story were all nonsense.
Yeah, there just like wasn't enough going on. We had to buy into all this family melodrama that, I mean, overall it was watchable. It's not like a painful movie to watch. It's, you have this on while you're doing other stuff and keep checking in on it. It's like, oh, wait a second, honey, I got to pause here. This is when Alec Baldwin eats it. There he goes. There you go. Okay, cool. All right. What were we doing? So
keep that on loop.
But that is Supercell, and it's available on Hulu. It's where I watched it.
That's where I watched it as well.
Cool, man. So yeah, I'll say this. I'd recommend it. I think it's a fun enough romp. So pop it in before you go and watch the new season of Shoresy. Just came on this week.
Shoresy.
Love that stupid Canadian show. Cracks me up no end. But I'm a hockey guy. What can I say?
That's true.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for our meteorological venture. Then, Paul, why don't you let everybody know where they can find some more of your content?
You can find me on Twitter all the time. Not as active as I used to be. I'm reading stuff, but
how would they find you?
At Movie Paul. That's good. That's good information to give. That's why I have you around, Brad.
Just want to help the listeners out there, how to obtain more of you. As for myself, you can find me daily over at townhall.com. I've got a media column there called Rift from the Headlines, also regular featured on the front page of Red State, where I've got my own media podcast called Liable Sources. And you can hear more of me on this very network. Next Thursday, I'm going to be here with 40 Packer as he and I guide you through the vital information coming out of Hollywood on the culture shift. And Tuesday evenings, I am here with the ever effervescent Aggie Rican on the Cocktail Lounge, where we bring all kinds of leisure news for you, from drinking, cocktails, sports, art, cultural items, you name it. It'll help you just relax and get a grip on what's going on in the world today with cocktails. And then if you need more of me than that, and let's face it, you do, if you head over to Twitter, I am at Martini Shark. Well, Paul and I will be back in 2 weeks. We got to come up with a title, though. We got to see what's on the horizon at the end of the month here.
What is it? We're getting into August, huh? August the 1st?
Yeah, we will.
We're not too far away from being back to school, so we may find some sort of school film.
That could be a topic we could endeavor in. But all right, yeah, we'll start commiserating on this. We got a fortnight before we return here, and we will be back with more Dredge offerings coming out of Hollywood here on Disasters in the Making.
I messed up, didn't I?
Producer? Oh, there we go.